Action 4 Sports Director Clay Williams welcoming you back to Countdown to Kickoff here on Action 4 with Action 4 Sports reporter Joe Bowling and our special guest, Joe. It is Eladio Jaimez of RGVSports.com and the Valley Morning Star here to talk about District 32-5A. Eladio, let's start talking. Harlingen not too happy to be put in this district. To begin with, how are their feelings now, and what do you think about their feelings about playing all the 6 Brownsville teams?
Well, as the season gets started, I just remember Manny Gomez's reaction at the UIO realignments when he opened that packet and saw that they were in the Brownsville schools. Not to take anything away from the Brownsville schools, but it's no secret that they've struggled. Mm-hmm. They've had some bad years, with the exception of maybe Pace, who's been really consistent in the playoffs. And, you know, obviously last year Harlingen scheduled that Abilene game in order to challenge themselves, to prepare themselves for the playoffs, and it obviously worked out. I think that Del Rio game wouldn't have gone their way had they not played Abilene. This year they don't have those challenges so much on the schedule, but they are a young team also. They got some good athletes, but some inexperienced athletes on Friday nights, and I think going up against a slate that includes those Brownsville schools might help bring them along and help them grow a little bit on the field and as a team together.
And right there, before he breaks from Harlingen, Eladio, last year it was a measuring stick for the Rio Grande Valley when everyone watched that Abilene game. Now this year, I think again that game out of the gate is against the San Antonio team. It's still going to be a measuring stick, because now if you don't go out there and stomp that team, then you're going to be looked at as, well, they're not that good, because the other San Antonio schools are going to say, we're going to stomp that team.
Exactly.
If you can't, it's still a measuring stick.
Exactly, especially a team like San Antonio Madison, who I know that Harlingen's got their eye on for the playoffs. I mean, they're not going to look ahead. They'll never admit to looking ahead, but it's definitely got to be in the back of their minds. And you're right, if they come out, and depending on how they look in San Antonio Johnson, that's the way I guess you could say the San Antonio schools will judge what Harlingen has this year or not. And even that San Benito game in week 1, it's going to be a tough game. San Benito's a pretty good team this year.
All right, well, let's get to the first of our fantastic 4 about District 32-5A, and that is Harlingen will end their 30-game or 31-game regular season winning streak. It will end this year. What are your thoughts? Will it happen? Could it happen? Or was there no chance of it happening?
Could it happen? I'm gonna go political on you here and say anything can happen on any given Friday. Anything can happen. Will it happen? I'm gonna go on a limb and say it won't happen.
Okay.
It won't happen. You know, that San Antonio, I think I've seen them in practice a few times. I've seen them prepare for that San Antonio team already. And not just that, but I've seen and talked to the athletes I've talked to, the leaders, the Nathan Prados, the Omar Hunters. Those guys don't want to come out and be the team that loses the first game. So I think mentally they're prepared, mentally they're capable of extending that streak. And you know, us as sports writers, as the media, we're looking forward to that week 6, week 7, when they will tie the Valley record and possibly break it the next week. So that, again, as media, I think that's what we're looking at. We're trying to see if they'll break the record or not. They're just concerned with their next game, and their next game is San Antonio Johnson. I don't think it will happen. I don't think they can lose, or they will lose. But like I said, anything can happen on any given Friday. And could it happen? It could. Will it? My prediction is no.
Fantastic, boys. I got to interject real quick. Harlingen, if they don't lose, it's because of the defense this year. They're still going to be good, but when they win games, it's going to be because of that defense. Last couple of years, it's been offense all over you. This year, they're still going to be good, folks. Watch their defense shut some teams down.
All right, let's get your predictions. Who goes to the playoffs from this district?
From this district, I got Harlingen winning. Los Fresnos in at 2nd. Harlingen South at 3rd, and then Hannah. I like Hannah out of the Brownsville schools with Coach Medrano there. He's got the experience. He's got a streak himself going into the playoffs, and they had a very good freshman class a few years ago. They're juniors now, so I'm looking forward to Hannah making the playoffs.
Quickly, predictions.
I got Harlingen number 1, Los Fresnos coming in. I do have Harlingen South making the playoffs, and as long as Evans is running the football, Rivera.
All right, I've got Harlingen, I've got Los Fresnos, I've got Harlingen South. My Brownsville team to make it this year is Brownsville Lopez. I really like what Mike Ramirez is doing down there. It's his 3rd year there, actually. I think he's going to be the Brownsville school to make it. All right, that's a look at 32-5A. We are coming right back on Countdown to Kickoff. I want to thank Eladio Jaimez. He'll be back with us later in the show. But don't forget, we've got much more, the rest of the Valley, that you haven't seen yet. It's all coming up on Action 4.